Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Shloka Day. Today's Shloka, Shloka number 17 of chapter 14. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam
sattva sanjayate jnanam
rajaso lobha eva cha
rajaso lobha eva cha
pramada mohau tamasaha
pramadamohau tamasaha
bhavato jnanameva cha.
bhavato jnanameva cha.
Forward meaning, translation, and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Sattvat,
Sattvat,
from the mode of goodness.
from the mode of goodness.
Sanjayate,
Sanjayate,
develops.
develops.
Jnanam,
Jnanam,
knowledge.
knowledge.
Rajasaha,
Rajasaha,
from the mode of passion.
from the mode of passion.
Lobhaha,
Lobhaha,
greed.
greed.
Eva,
Eva,
certainly.
certainly.
Cha,
Cha,
also.
also.
Pramada,
Pramada,
madness.
madness.
Mohau,
Mohau,
an illusion.
and illusion.
Tamasaha,
Tamasaha,
from the mode of ignorance.
from the mode of ignorance.
Bhavataha,
Bhavataha,
develop.
develop.
Ajnanam,
Ajnanam,
nonsense.
nonsense.
Eva,
Eva,
certainly.
certainly.
Cha,
Cha,
also.
also.
Translation. From the mode of goodness,
from the mode of goodness,
real knowledge develops.
real knowledge develops.
From the mode of passion,
from the mode of passion,
greed develops.
greed develops.
And from the mode of ignorance,
and from the mode of ignorance,
develop foolishness, madness, and illusion.
develop foolishness, madness, and illusion.
So yesterday we talked about the medium-term effect of all the three gunas, where the Lord talked about the conditioning, how Rajagun forces you to develop more and more desires, Tamogun to go down into illusion, etc. So in this particular shloka, the Lord is talking about the immediate effect of the influence of the three gunas on you. And in tomorrow's shloka, we will look at the impact of the three gunas and what happens as a result after your death. So Prabhupada writes, since the present civilization is not very congenial to the living entities, Krishna consciousness is recommended, in the sense that Kali Yuga is not a pleasant yuga. Of the four yugas, Kali Yuga is considered to be the most difficult yuga for the Jivatmas. So because it's a stressful place, it's a place full of anxiety. Of course, the whole material cosmos is full of anxiety, but that anxiety increases in Kali Yuga. So Prabhupada is writing, the only way to reduce this anxiety, the stress, the feeling that you are lonely, all of these things can be addressed by practicing Krishna consciousness. Through Krishna consciousness, society will develop the mode of goodness. See, when you're under difficulty or when you're mindlessly chasing things, you actually don't know that you're ill, that you have a disease. But when you begin to practice Krishna consciousness, at least you come to the recognition that you have a disease and you're trying to slowly cure it. And that disease is that primarily you are under the influence of Rajagun and Tamogun. So at a minimum, to understand what is real and what is not, what is illusion and what is absolute reality, one has to have some spiritual practice to bring you to sattva. When the mode of goodness is developed, people will see things as they are, which means you are able to see the truth. In the mode of ignorance, people are just like animals and cannot see things clearly. In the mode of ignorance, for example, they do not see that by killing one animal, they are taking the chance of being killed by the same animal in the next life. So Prabhupada mentioned the same thing in the purport yesterday. Every time we kill an animal, it means we will be subject to that same punishment in a future life. So that Jivatma that we killed, that Jivatma will have an opportunity to do the same thing to you in a future life. Because people have no education and actual knowledge, they become irresponsible. So a lot of us may justify a lot of things that we do, but Prabhupada is saying if you actually had real knowledge, you would understand the truth. But without that knowledge, you become irresponsible. To stop this irresponsibility, education for developing the mode of goodness of the people in general must be there. That means the government, the king, it is their responsibility to create an atmosphere where the citizens can practice spirituality and come in the mode of goodness. When they are actually educated in the mode of goodness, they will become sober, in full knowledge of things as they are. Then people will be happy and prosperous. Even if the majority of the people aren't happy and prosperous, if a certain percentage of the population develops Krishna consciousness and becomes situated in the mode of goodness, then there is the possibility for peace and prosperity all over the world. That is the whole purpose of ISKCON, to at least bring people into the mode of goodness and eventually connect them to Krishna and allow them to begin their spiritual journey in earnest. Otherwise, if the world is devoted to the modes of passion and ignorance, there can be no peace or prosperity. In the mode of passion, people become greedy and their hankering for sense enjoyment has no limit. One can see that even if one has enough money and adequate arrangements for sense gratification, there is neither happiness nor peace of mind. That is not possible because one is situated in the mode of passion. I was listening to Sri Gauranga Prabhu, some short clip. He was talking about the role of Maya, Durga Devi. Her role is to make your life uncomfortable here. Her role is to remind you that this is not your permanent home. And she does that, but it is just that since a lot of us are in the mode of ignorance, we don't recognize that we are being tortured so that we begin to ask the question, why am I suffering? So Durga Devi's role is to remind you this is not your permanent home. So one can see that even if one has enough money and adequate arrangements for sense gratification, there is neither happiness nor peace of mind. That's not possible because one is situated in the mode of passion. If one wants happiness at all, his money will not help him. So similarly, I was listening to a clip of His Holiness S.B. Keshav Swami Maharaj. He was saying, it is not that we are not allowed to have money. So having money is not illusion. But thinking that money is going to purchase happiness for you, that is illusion. So there's nothing wrong if you're wealthy. But don't think that wealth is going to get you permanent happiness. If you realize how to use the wealth properly in the service of Krishna and his devotees, then you will also be pleased. Devotees will be pleased. Lord Krishna will be pleased. When one is engaged in the mode of passion, not only is he mentally unhappy, but his profession and occupation are also very troublesome. He has to devise so many plans and schemes to acquire enough money to maintain his status quo. This is all miserable. In the mode of ignorance, people become mad. Being distressed by their circumstances, they take shelter of intoxication and thus they sink further into ignorance. Their future in life is very dark. So Prabhupada is painting a clear picture of why this three gunas and understanding how it impacts us is very, very important. This is a short commentary by His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam. From the mode of goodness comes knowledge. Knowledge of spirituality is not just ingestion of some facts and figures, but it is a realignment of our view. So, spirituality doesn't mean you're simply accumulating some facts. Spirituality actually is application oriented. So, it is a harmonization of our thinking and living with reality, and that is never easy. For us to confront that we are suffering, it takes a long time, unbelievably long time. Many births, actually. Rajaso lobha evacha. From the mode of passion comes greed. So, if we want knowledge, we have to live in the mode of goodness. We have seen that if we go to the temple, read some transcendental literature, calmness comes to us. In the mode of passion, one is never satisfied with what one has. Pramada mohau tamasaha. So tamaguna is characterized by pramada and moha, and that results in ajnana. Even in short term, as soon as we come in the mode of passion, agitation, dissatisfaction, hankering, greed of more and more happens. There will always be something that which we don't have, and the mode of passion will keep us not satisfied. So the mode of passion means you're never satisfied with your life. You're always searching and running and chasing after something. A devotee can have material life based on his capacity so that he can also practice spiritual life. There has to be a balance. While performing our spiritual life nicely, we can take care of our material duties. And by Krishna's mercy, if wealth comes, we will accept that and use it in a proper way. So a devotee does not have to give up wealth, but a devotee has to give up the illusion that wealth can make one happy. So, with this, you have a clear understanding that practicing Krishna consciousness does not necessarily mean you have to give up everything. You just have to prioritize Krishna. And when we prioritize Krishna, that is going to benefit us in so many ways. So, one more short commentary by His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. So, the question is our knowledge making us prouder or wiser? Real knowledge will make you actually humble. The more you hear about Krishna, the more you realize how you are nothing in front of Krishna. Therefore, humility is an outcome of practicing spirituality. We often think that if we gain enough information, we will become knowledgeable. Significantly, however, the Bhagavad Gita states that knowledge grows by leading a life of goodness, not merely by accumulating information in the head. To appreciate this Gita statement, let's first consider what knowledge is meant for. Is it a resource for us to win an argument and prove our superiority over others? Or is it a resource for us to choose wisely amid tempting or troubling situations? Both? What if both these purposes don't go together? Consider the example of doctors who smoke. Do they not know that smoking is injurious to health? They know, and yet they don't. They know it intellectually and often know it better than most ordinary people, but the information in their head is superseded by their uncontrollable cravings and unhealthy habits. In contrast, those who can resist the temptation to smoke may not have even a quarter of the information doctors have, but their actions are wiser. Why? Because knowledge is manifest in various places other than the head. So knowledge doesn't reside only in your head. So Prabhu is saying it's there in your conscience, in your culture, in your values, in your attitudes, in your desires, habits, lifestyles. Ultimately, knowledge is most empowering when it becomes assimilated as realization in our heart. When you realize that what you're doing is fundamentally wrong, that's when you will begin to change. What does this multiplicity of the location of knowledge mean for us practically? That we don't just keep learning more, but strive also to apply what we learn. Even if such application takes time, still the very endeavor to do so will keep us rightly directed. So Prabhu is saying that even though you hear that certain things are wrong, you may not immediately rectify your life, but the more you hear over a period of time, you will start doing the right thing. So spirituality also means giving yourself a chance to make that progress and not to give up. Sometimes it's frustrating that we're not able to give up our bad habits, even though we have begun to practice Krishna consciousness. But you need to be patient because it will happen. When we strive to live virtuously in harmony with the information in our head, then the knowledge we learn will permeate into all areas of our being and make us all round better human beings. So, a conclusion is that knowledge accumulated as information in the head makes us prouder. Knowledge assimilated as realization in our heart makes us wise. No, the wise man very rarely speaks. No? He stays silent because he knows he doesn't have to prove anything to anybody. So here, Krishna is just talking about the immediate effects of the three gunas. So real knowledge can only develop when you come to the mode of sattva guna.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.